The bandwidth for this episode of Fat2Fit HQ is sponsored by the Firearms Radio Network, firearmsradio.tv.
Welcome to the Fat2Fit HQ podcast. I'm your host, Carol Salva of the Firearms Radio Network. In this podcast, we're chronicling our journeys from fat to fit. We talk about pursuing a healthier lifestyle, not only in diet, but in all areas of life. Hello, hello, hello. This is an exciting show because it's actually a show. We weren't going to have a show recorded, but I have a great community member who did a show for me, Jennifer Young from Illinois. And so we're going to go into that show, and you're going to get to hear her interview with another few great community members. We have Kim Walls and Chris Tinder and John Ellis Sr., Hammer Jammer. These guys did a challenge in January that you're going to hear about. It came up in December. Jennifer threw it out there. It's more about moving during the month of December. She called it Jen's January Jaunt. And we got to see through the month of January how just challenging yourself to move a mile a day, or an average, 30 miles in 30 days, what that did for some folks in our community. And again, I'm super grateful because right now I'm in the middle of some things that is in just kind of insanity with work starting back up. And I have my master's program and a certification program, and I'm consulting on the side. And of course, my babies, my children, I don't want to stop being part of this show in this community. And so I'm super grateful to anybody that's helping us continue to get shows out there. And so thank you, Jennifer. I come in at the very end of the show. I feel bad because I kind of derailed it a little bit. And then I'm going to have some takeaways for me from what these guys talked about. It just inspiring stuff. So let's go see what Jennifer Young from Girls Like Guns Too. She's our YouTuber person in the group. And let's see what she has to say and all the other January jaunters that were able to join her. Let's go see.
Well, welcome everybody out there in YouTube land. I am Jennifer Young from the Girls Like Guns 2 channel on YouTube, and I am guest hosting today for Carol Salva on the Fat2Fit HQ podcast. So, definitely go check out that site, fat2fithq.com. She has all the podcasts that have been done in the past, and then this one will also be out there. Today we're having kind of a special little podcast. It was based on a challenge that I threw out in January on our MyFitnessPal group. So I have three wonderful participants in that challenge. And I'll just start from my left to right here. And Chris, if you want to do a real quick introduction.
I'm Chris. I've been following the podcast for about a year and a half or so. Been on it a couple times and just trying to stay fit.
Fantastic. John?
I'm Big John, also known as Hammer Jammer 1. Been following Carol's podcast since about last March. Found her through Kiefer, and same thing, just trying to get fitter, stay fitter, and hang out with my friends.
Awesome. Kim?
Hey, I'm Kim. I'm also known as Beer Bike Girl on the forums and Instagram, all those places. And same thing, I found the podcast through Kiefer. As we were talking about, this is, for those of you who know what Carb Night Solution is, this is my Carb Night, and I just took a bunch of stuff to spike insulin, so I'm getting a little hyper right now, but it'll all be good.
Well, at least you'll be able to, keep the conversation going. So, well, and I found the podcast through Nick Humphreys, Practically Tactical. He had Carol on his show in, I believe it was either late November, early December. And I was watching that, and I just was kind of taken by her energy and just, you know, the information that she was sharing. And we were talking Thursday on my show. I said that, you know, what I liked about her is she does not come across as an expert. You know, she's just a regular person like we all are, and, you know, trying various things and hoping for the best. So, you know, and I think she's wanting to learn. I think everyone that follows the podcast is wanting to learn, and I think it's fantastic. You know, I know we all are doing different plans. I know, Kim, you're doing the carb night thing, and I don't know what I'm doing. I just kind of pick and choose things that I try, and you know, I hope they work out. But I think it's a great community because it does. There's not one thing that we're supposed to be doing, or, you know, and there's nobody sitting there going, well, you're not doing carb night like the rest of us are, so, you know, you're doing it wrong. You should do this. There isn't any of that, and I absolutely love that. So, and, you know, I said I came into the group in early December, and, you know, I was struggling with being way overweight, much more overweight than I ever thought I would ever be, and I was just really, really down on myself. And, you know, being in that group or joining that group and seeing everyone support each other and provide me with support was fantastic. And you know, it was what I had decided. Okay, there were challenges out there. I know Carol had the checking in challenge, the 7-day water challenge. And I was like, okay, well, I'll throw one out there. I'm new, but, you know, whatever. You know, and so I said for January I would throw out a challenge of Jen's January Jaunt, and that was for 30 miles in 30 days. And for me, the challenge wasn't the miles. The challenge was getting my butt outside in Illinois in January.
Oh, come on. It's like, you know, the tropics down there compared to up here.
Right. That second day I was out, it was 7 degrees, you know, before the wind chill. Now, to me, no, that was not something I ever did. You know, I walked in 2012. I did almost 700 miles of walking in 2012. But what I always said was I won't walk in weather that's below 40 degrees. And I was telling Carol this. I still don't think it's hit 40 degrees when I've been out walking so far. You know, so I'm very happy with what I was able to do. Kim, I'm gonna go to you first. What made you decide to follow this crazy new person and decide to, you know, give this challenge a try?
Well, I'm the one on the in the community that's really about your whole life, the sleep, the stress, and the move. And I think that walking and getting in that low level, not cardio-ish, walking every single day is a key to health. And I know I don't do it as much in the winter. So when you said that, I thought, well, if she can do it, and I'm basically the same climate, you know, I'm from Wisconsin, I can do it too. And, you know, I think not only is it getting in all those steps and, like what I said, movement, trying to get your 10,000 a day or whatever that is, I also think getting outside is just real important to health and wellness. That there's things you get from being outside that you don't get from walking on a treadmill or from doing things inside. There's electrons and all kinds of, you know, there's scientific reasons, but I just think nature, everything is a de-stressor. It's a natural one. It takes us into our natural environment, and we need to get outside. And so I think it's brilliant that you made the challenge, and I got outside I think 29 of 31 days in January. And now, granted, I had a couple of trips. I was in Dallas for a few of them. So I had some breaks, but that's a lot in January, and it's my new goal is I'm going to walk or hike 1,000 miles this year. Dedicated miles outside. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you were out much more than I was. The way my schedule works, I really could only get out on the weekends.
Yep.
So, but you kind of nailed it as far as being outside. My mood, my just well-being just seemed to just drastically change.
Exactly.
Getting out there, even the first day, as much as it was painful, cold, and as far as just not doing that kind of walking for so long, it was just, it just seemed to boost my energy, boost my motivation. It just overall just made me feel better,
Yes.
physically and mentally.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you on that. Chris, what about you?
Well, I have a goal this year of 750 miles running, and beginning of January I started just a new diet, and it was cold, snowing, so I didn't get out at the beginning of January, and about 2 weeks in I saw the challenge and I was like, well, I better get in on that, and it was a good motivator to get out. And even though I'm in New Mexico, so it's not terribly cold, it's not 7 degrees, but I'm not used to snow. So it snowed, and probably record snows here in a while, 8 inches, which is a bunch for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was freezing, went out there. It gave me the motivation to go out, get in the cold, go run. And once I was out there running, it wasn't a big deal. So if I'm going to run 30 miles a month, I might not make my goal. But it was a good. It kind of, now when I see it's cold outside, I just go out and do it. Especially after the 30. The first 30 is the hardest. That's what they say.
I found the first 10 feet was the hardest.
Every day, every time.
Just opening that door and realizing I'm not just going to my car. I'm going somewhere else for a while. I'm going to be out for at least 45 minutes. And yeah, that was definitely a struggle for a couple days there. And I don't know if you guys, caught any of the videos I did, but yeah, every walk I had my GoPro out there, so I was looking like a complete fool with my GoPro. So, but it was fun. It kept me accountable for that month. The fact that I'm showing people that yes, I am out in this. Although I did have one guy say, "You're just using your green screen." So I had to prove to him I wasn't. Which the one time when I almost fell, that was kind of proof that I wasn't just using the green screen. So, John, what about you?
Well, as far as January goes, I mean, you had it right there in the title. It said challenge. Okay, so once there's a challenge, well, you got to rise to it. Okay, that's and I don't have to deal with a lot of what you guys up north have to deal with. I mean, you want to talk about the tropics? It was in the 70s here today, so pretty nice. But with my arthritis, 35 degrees on my knees is, like sub-zero temperatures on you guys up there. And I grew up just outside of Chicago, so I understand about cold.
Okay.
But
you were the smart one. You got out.
Yeah, well, there's a reason I retired in Georgia. But that's so, challenge. Okay, we'll see what we can get in on it. And 30 and 30 days. I mean, I walk about 40 miles a week. Okay, so it was just fun to be part of joining in and being a part of the challenge. And designating the time as Jen's Jaunt time. people on my Facebook wanting to know who Jen is. What's this Jen's Jaunt stuff? It's relatives and what have you. Want to know what's going on there. So it was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the checking in. So.
Well, I really. It made me feel good, that I was able to just put something out there, and that you guys, along with some, with others. I know Carol was doing it. Chris is out in the chat room. She says hello to everybody. She was doing it. TJ was doing it. There were some others that were doing it as well. And then I had some people that follow me on YouTube that were doing it. Survivor Dolly I think she did over 75 or 80 miles because she was throwing in her hiking as well. And she does some amazing hikes. She lives out in the Pacific Northwest. So, and Tommy Cockerham was doing it. Had a couple other people that were going to try to do it and just didn't get a chance to, because of the weather. For them, they live in the South like you, John. So, for them, getting down to 20 or 30 degrees, probably not something that they're used to. So they didn't do it. But there was so much support from both the MyFitnessPal as well as the YouTube community, and and I was wanting to show my support for everybody that was doing it, and it just made me feel good that there was something I came up with. And you guys were having so much fun with it. It wasn't just you did the walk or you did your miles and whatever. I mean, like you said, posts on Facebook, in the MyFitnessPal community, and you guys were just having so much fun with it.
Yeah, I did a daily Instagram picture that was like a collage that showed the weather, whatever city I was in, the mileage, and some sort of picture from along the route. So it was fun. And I had hashtag January Jaunt and have a bunch of them up there. It was great, and I'm going to continue doing that on walks and hikes and all that through this year, especially because I travel a lot, and it's a way to also see where I am or go back and see where I am. So it's really cool.
So you're going to do 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
And then Chris, you're going to run 750. Is there something that you have, John, as far as a long-term goal that you have in mind?
Oh, well, I picked my decade birthdays now, starting with this one, with this year, is I'm going to do at least every 10 years. I'm going to do at least one obstacle race. Okay, every 10 years until I'm dead. All right. So, and that was the big goal for this year. Was actually, and originally I was just going to do a Warrior Dash, but then with Carol and all her Tough Mudder stuff, I said, well, all right, 10 miles, 3 miles, who cares? What's another 7 miles? In the scheme of things. So that's we'll go do that one. And then she roped me into being the team captain,
which from what I'm noticing sounds like a good role for you.
Yeah, well, with the way we're doing it, yeah, I'm old first sergeant. I'm not old. I'm not an officer. I was old NCO, and as long as she's the commander, then I'll treat her like I would any other, good young officer that's got to learn stuff, and bring the rest of them along. So that's the thing we're getting at. Oh yeah, you're gonna have your call sign, Jen, is gonna be Gunrunner 5. You're our civil affairs rep. Okay. That's the civil affairs department in the headquarters. It's the 5 elements. So that's your call sign. It's Gunrunner 5.
Oh,
bring your GoPro. Okay.
Bring my GoPro. Okay. Oh
bring
yeah.
Bring your GoPro. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, it'll be on my head. So.
That's. But other goals. I'm working on some additional senior fitness certification. For work with my warrior athletes, and I just got certified this last year as a disability sports specialist, and got the Primal Blueprint certification, which, and Kim, you know, it's the same. It's intuitive, really, to what you and I both have been doing. You know, when I first met you here in the MyFitnessPal stuff, I told you, you know, we're kindred spirits there. That's you can. When Kim writes stuff about lifestyle, she could be speaking. She could just as well be me saying the words. You know, that's we operate on the same frequency, really.
Yeah, and I wasn't always like that. It's, you know, it was Mark stuff that got me started. It's been the last year and a half or so, and I am such a believer in cat. Such a believer in that sort of thing, that, you know, sleep, stress, movement, what you eat, that kind of thing is the key to health.
Yeah, and the good news is the science supports what we already knew deep down inside anyway.
Yep.
You know, this is stuff that works. So it was just a natural fit. Yeah.
I'm just watching Kim with her cat.
Yeah. Cat.
Tail wagging over my head was pretty funny.
Exactly. Just cracking me up.
That was Larry.
Oh, that's Larry. That's his name, huh?
That's a she. That's a long story, but yeah, Larry the cat is a girl.
Nothing like confusing her. So, speaking of Tough Mudder, because obviously there's at least two of us that are going to be doing this ridiculousness. Kim and Chris, are you going to be joining the craziness that will be Vegas in October?
I want to, but that week, and I'm pretty sure they haven't set the race date, but I'm going to be doing a half marathon in Albuquerque that weekend, I believe. It's usually on that weekend, so I would like to go. I like the Tough Mudder. I did the one in Dallas, and it was a blast, but this is something I've set a goal of last year in December to do a half marathon, and so it's going to be in October, and I'm going to miss the fun.
That's too bad, but yeah, you're obviously doing something else, so half marathon, kudos.
We'll see. I haven't done one yet. We'll see how I fare.
What's the longest race you've done, or have you ever done any racing?
I've just done little 5Ks around town, nothing special. And then I did the Tough Mudder, and I ran about 8 miles of that until I started cramping up. But
okay.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I'll probably do some 5Ks along the way as they come in spring to kind of practice my race. But yeah, it's going to be my first long race.
Well, kudos to you. What about you, Kim?
You're working a good training program for it, though, Chris. From what you've been posting, you're tracking to do well. Yeah. Right now I'm kind of doing where I'm gonna peak in April, and then I'm gonna come down over the summertime and then start training again in August and try to peak again in October. Right.
Yeah, question, old bag, which I love the name. Half marathon is 13 miles, 13.1, so just a FYI. And Chris out there is causing trouble in the chat room, so she's saying I'm not civil, because, you know, apparently, so we're going to have a little chat with her after the chat. So I wish she would join us, but she said she can't join us. So what about you, Kim?
Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to go back to talking about Chris's half marathon, which I do want, and I'll answer your question. Chris, do you have a time goal for your half?
Under 2 hours.
Okay.
Nothing special. I want to do, you know, my goal time is 8-minute miles, but that's lofty for me right now. I can do them for 5 miles, but for 13, I don't think I can do an 8-minute mile. So I'm going to set it at 2 hours, and anything under that, I'm going to be happy with.
Based on your splits, I think you can do it. I don't run. I've done 3 half marathons, but I've walked, jogged, whatever, and never broken 3. So I'm just slow. I like to just, but yeah, I think based on what I'm seeing you run now, you'll break 2 quite easily. And to answer the question, I don't know. It's my husband and mine anniversary that weekend, and we'll see. And if I do, it'll be a last minute sort of thing. He'll come, but yeah, we'll see. We'll leave it at that. So I'm not signing up for any leadership positions because I'm not convinced I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't sign up for any either.
But you got one, and so that's why I'm not committed.
I mean, I was in the military, and I never volunteered for anything because you're always told to never volunteer. So I'm really kind of concerned how I've got something handed to me. We may have to have a chat.
Said I'm an old first sergeant.
What training are you guys gonna start doing for the marathon? For the mud run.
I'm putting out a program starting February 17th. That's 10 months out. 10 months for 10 miles. We're gonna train, and I'm gonna start putting that out. I ran the Seattle Marathon back in 1976, so that's done that once. Would not do it again. Okay, guys, you have to understand something about the marathon. If you look at the history of the race, what happened to the guy who did it first?
He died.
He was a soldier. He ran the 26.2 miles, handed off the message about a battle being won, and he fell over dead. Okay, so doing it once, okay, I beat that one. All right, I'm not going to do it more than once.
Think about all those people that go and run it. That guy died, and now they want to do it faster than him.
Yeah, right.
Having done 3 half, I can say I've never gotten to the end of a half marathon and gone, dang, I wish I could do that again right now.
Yeah. That's it.
I think it's great that people can. But now I'm even more convinced I'm not doing the Tough Mudder because you guys are going to, it sounds like, train and get serious for it. I can walk 11, 12 miles.
Oh, we're walking it.
We're walking it. Listen carefully. We are walking it. I do not run anymore. I was 35 years old. I had a full bird colonel look at me and say, "First Sergeant, you are not to run anymore, period." That's an order. Life, limb, or eyesight. Those are reasons you can run. Any other reason is not good enough. Okay? And I've been following that order since then. So I do not run. All right? Now, but we're gonna cross some obstacles, and we're gonna have fun. Okay? And we're gonna do stuff as a team. We're gonna team it and do things that we probably didn't think we could do. Yeah. And probably didn't realize we even wanted to do. Okay.
And for those of you that won't be joining, we'll have video.
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah, I've walked 13 or 14 miles the most, and yeah, it was not under 3 hours either, Kim. So, I walk. I tried running once in 2012, and I got a mile. I got a mile in, and had to basically turn around and hobble back home. And this was after I'd probably walked 300-400 miles, so it wasn't that I was out of shape or I couldn't move. I literally just cannot run. My ankles, my shins, basically my entire lower body just said, no, you can't do this. And I couldn't hardly walk for like 2 days after that. So, but walking is not a problem for me. I can do that. So yeah, there will be a lot of walking in Vegas. Because that when Carol said to me, because I had planned on just going out and being a cheerleader and rah rah, because I want to meet everybody, and I thought I would just go ahead and be out there to cheer you guys on, and she didn't let me do that. She basically said, she said, are you, will you walk with me? It's like I might jog a little bit, but for the most part I'm gonna walk. And I was like you, John. I go, do I look like I run? And so yeah, that's kind of how I got. It was suggested that I
join. Yeah, you would regret it if you went to watch. You would want to participate after watching everybody, because it's a blast.
And that you're right. I've seen there's a lady on YouTube that I follow. She did one last year. I don't remember where it was. I think it was in Denver or somewhere. And yeah, she just said it was just a huge rush. And she's actually going to be in Vegas as well. So I'm hoping to maybe be able to find her and meet her as well. But yeah, it's I totally get what you're saying, Chris. Is you don't just want to watch. You're going to want to do it. So, and then when you're doing it, you're going to wish you weren't. So,
well, yeah, you'll have fun.
You're gonna be glad and proud that you are there, that you are a part. Okay.
Well, I am looking forward to it. I don't know what you've got in mind for us, John, but we'll do our best to make the team look good. So.
What worries me the most is the obstacles, and it's really the upper body strength. And we talk about it now. Chris is doing strong list 5x5 now. John is too, and I think so is the other Chris and some others. And where my weakness is upper body strength. I've never in my life, like from a childhood till now, done a pull up, a chin up, a rope climb. And that part really bothers me about Tough Mudder. And I'm not a small girl, so the idea of you guys trying to push my butt up over and up, that ain't happening either.
Yeah.
Well, you would enjoy it once you get in there too. Because everybody's helping everybody, and you end up climbing on more people than you suspect. I remember, I think JT talked about it whenever you go over the hay bales and stuff, you end up being a step stool for a while. Just you get down on your knee, and then people stand on your knee, and then they jump over you. And you stay there for about 10 minutes letting people do that. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And just trust me, as a team, we will get through. We will get through the obstacles. We will do it together. Okay.
Well, like I said, I've seen some, watched a couple, people have done videos for YouTube, and it's like you said, it's not like you're alone going up to an obstacle. And you gotta figure out how am I gonna get over that 6 foot tall or 8 foot tall wall or whatever craziness it is. So I'm with you, Kim. I have no upper body strength. I really never have either. Mine's always been in my legs.
Yep.
But hey, we got 10 months to work on that. So.
I am. We're getting there. Although I really think my push-up thing or pull-up thing is a combination of I need to have stronger arms and maybe a little less butt.
Strength to weight ratio, yeah.
That is two ways of dealing with that particular issue. Yes, you either have stronger arms to pull yourself up, or less weight that you have to pull up.
Or a combination of the two, somewhere in the middle.
I'm kind of going. For me, I'm going with the less butt.
Exactly.
So, again, I know we're kind of talking about. We did our challenge in January, and we each kind of have some challenges that we're going to do throughout the year. Are there things that you're going to do to try to set goal? Because one thing with me is I'm horrible at long-term goals. I can say, well, I'm going to do 1,000 miles over the year. Oh, chances are I won't get 1,000 miles over the year because, I need to have a short-term goal. Do you guys have specific kind of milestones that you're going to work through each month or each quarter in order to kind of keep yourselves on track? Kim?
Well, I guess with me is it's ongoing all the time, and I'm hyper competitive, but when it comes to in work, that's a great trait because I'm in sort of a sales field. With athletics, I'm not an athlete, and so or never really have been, and I'm hyper competitive then just with myself. So I'm constantly trying to like have a 10,000 step a day goal, and so can I beat that? In the summer, that becomes 12,000 steps because there's more time of the day. I'm always, now that I'm lifting weights, trying to beat my records, and I bike a lot, so I use Strava, which is kind of like a tracking like Fitbit, but for biking. So even though I know I'll never be as fast as the other people, if I keep beating my own, then that's good. And at the same time, again, I'll go back to it's the whole lifestyle. So I believe in minimal effective dose. So I'm never gonna like overtrain myself or do anything. But I always want to be getting better and getting stronger. And, I'm in a month or ish, I'll turn 55. So I'm constantly trying to be the best I've ever been in my life at this age that, we'll call it midlife or whatever. So it's kind of this challenge to live in a way, my own personal challenge to myself, to live in a way that other people look at me and go, wow, how can she do all that? So,
yeah. You set just keep setting yourself to improve. I think we all do that.
yes.
Chris, what about you? I mean, you have that long-term goal. How are you going to approach that?
Well, I kind of the same as Kim. Whenever I'm competitive, but I don't have anybody else running with me, so it's mainly I'm just competitive with myself. So I set goals, like not necessarily by a month, but I set next time I do this, I want to be at 150 pounds or 160 pounds or something like that. So and with running, it's the same way. I want to be able to I go and I set a goal before I run every day. This past time I did sprints. I didn't actually log it on MyFitnessPal yet, or on the community. I put it on there to keep myself accountable. But I did sprints, and I started out. It was 60-second sprints and then 30 seconds of rest, which are terrible. Don't ever do them. But there was a guy out there that I was running with, and he was skiing today, so he didn't want to run those. So he just jogged around the track, and he's a lot faster than me. And so I started running. I did the first one, and my goal was just to do 3/4 of the track. Nothing special. Just I wanted to get around most of the track before I started my next set. But after a while, he would pretty much, he was on a really good pace to where he would pass me, and then I would chase him. So my goal through that whole time was just to chase, catch him, and that's kind of how I approach anything. As I set kind of. It's fluid. I set goals as things happen. I see him pass me, so I want to catch him really quick, and that just keeps me going. I would have quit at 6 if I wasn't chasing him because I wanted to quit, but I got to 10 just because I kept catching him until I stopped catching him. I was gonna keep going, but that's how I approach most of my training. It's just I try to set little mini goals, little PRs, trying to break my record from before. And right now I'm getting back into lifting because I've been injured. And I got a whole new set of goals because I'm coming off of knowing what all my PRs from last year are, which I was getting pretty strong on some of them. Now I have to start at 100 pounds, which is like I'm struggling to do it because it's so light. But I'll get there. I have to work my way up, and it's helping me just set that little 5 pounds more with the 5x5 helps.
Yeah, my big strength goals are 1.5 time body weight deadlift, body weight squat, and a pull up. Those I want to get those this year. We'll see. We'll see. Hi, Carol.
Hi, I joined at the wrong time. If y'all are talking about strength goals, I'm out.
We're just talking about, everyone has a goal, like a yearly goal. So we're just kind of talking about how we're approaching that goal. If we're breaking it up, what kind of things that we're doing. So
that's a good thing. Well, hi everybody. Fantastic. I don't know. I have some goals, but I haven't thought them through. It was survive. It was try to bounce back from Christmas, and we joined some challenges. Y'all know my thing. I'm glad I could come for even a little bit, because you jaunters, oh my gosh, what motivation. I know y'all probably already talked about all the cool stuff, but it was really helpful to me to see everybody's nuggets of what they were doing for the jaunt in January. Chris was real specific about his running. I started listening to books on tape when I went out to do walks and runs and stuff from some of the stuff that you said. That's made a huge difference in my activity. That was
Good.
cool. Yeah. I just want to listen now. I don't want to come in and derail everything, because I have questions. I have questions for everybody, but I'll do them on the chat board. So
actually, go ahead, because honestly, I'm doing my best to try to hold the fort down. So
no, you're doing great, I'm sure.
The expert's here. So.
Oh, please. Yeah. I just wanted to really say thank you. That's why I wanted to make sure and come on. But also, there's been a couple of posts lately that have really kind of knocked me off my feet and made me think. And I'm over on the chat board about how helpful the group is. This jaunting challenge really showed that. Like, I moved more, and it maybe wasn't always a jaunt, but it was something, because I would get on there and there was just so much talk about what you did to get to that challenge. But then lately too, Kim, you wrote some stuff, and we don't have to get all on air and personal about everybody's stuff, but you were talking about your journey and where you are now and how you deal with people from work and what's important to you, the sleep over everything. It was just a real honest post. Just a real heartfelt post that really made me, I don't know, it really kind of threw me off. I was like, wow, that is really well written and really true and really cool. So I wanted to thank you for all that.
And now I have to figure out which post that was.
Yeah. Well, it was about your clothes and things. Just different things, just from your perspective of how this has taken you a while. One of the things that hit me that you said was that you can go ahead and let go of some of those bigger clothes now, because if for some reason you're still holding on to them, even though it's been so long, but you finally got to a point where you felt like your life, this is your life now. Like you're finally past the point where you're real scared you're going to go back.
Yes.
That was really amazing.
Yes.
It's just well written.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it is. I finally feel like I found how to live and not just how to diet or how to do crazy stuff. That what I'm doing now, I can keep doing forever. And yeah, maybe it's a little slower as far as weight loss or that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But does that really matter? Would it be better if I suddenly dropped 25 pounds tomorrow and then gained back 40 pounds the next 4 months? Instead, if I'm losing a little bit here a week or whatever, and this is sustainable and this is me and it feels good.
Yeah, doesn't it? You can tell that, because you can always tell that, Kim's the one that's going to bring us back to, but how much are you sleeping? Sleeping is the number one thing, and I know I'll always hear that from Kim, and it reminds me that all this crazy stuff you're doing, you've got a real handle on those healthy habits that aren't just about weight loss, but eventually will, of course, translate into that as well. So I want to thank you for that. And also, John, I don't know if y'all have talked about it, but John's kicking a habit right now. Can we share, John?
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And I didn't think you had anything in your life ever that would be a struggle for you. I mean, you're a hammer jammer.
Yeah, that's, this addiction, I've been smoking since I was 12. Okay.
Wow.
And, I come from a really good gene pool. Okay, that I mean, my dad, he lived into his 70s. He smoked since he was a young lad, 3 packs a day. He was an alcoholic, drank probably about two quarts of liquor a week.
Wow.
Okay, and when he had a stroke. He retired in his 60s, had a stroke in his early 70s,
Oh, bless his heart.
and it wasn't the alcohol or the smoking that caused the stroke. It was he stopped moving. Okay,
The inactivity.
he started sitting.
Wow.
The inactivity of retirement. Okay,
Wow.
and it's on the other side of the family, my grandfather on that side, who I actually tend to favor physically, he lived into his 80s. Okay, and he was the one that I'm following in his footsteps. On his 60th, when he was 60, he was at work one day, and he would cough so bad that he would have to hold on to the arms of his chairs, right? And finally, he just took his cigarettes and he smacked them down on the desk and said, "I quit."
Wow.
This was like back in the, this was back in the early 60s when, people smoked at the office, and the guy next to him said, "You ain't gonna quit." And he said, "Yeah, I quit." He put the cigarettes in his drawer and he said, They'll be there a year from now. I'll bet you $100 they're still there and I haven't smoked." And he won that bet.
Wow.
Okay. So that's I didn't do it quite that way. I have to plod through a plan. And I've been planning this for probably a while, but I started titrating back. I smoked about 2 packs a day, and that was kind of my sustainable norm. And from the time of my birthday back in November and I set Martin Luther King's birthday as my target date to quit altogether. And I started titrating back, and I got down to just about a pack, slightly less than a pack a day in that 2 months. But the motivation, I got a lot of motivation, both from you, Carol, Kim. I don't know if you remember that post about Kim about feeling like a fraud. Okay, but that's the one that really struck home, where I was just finishing up the certification for the wellness expert. And I said, now how am I going to be a wellness expert? Okay, how am I going to be someone that's going to tell people how to live better when I'm not making the most out of every day I have?
Man.
Okay, and
Wow.
you got to understand something. A long time ago, when I was 19 years old, I stopped worrying about how long I was going to live. You can't do things I did. You can't buckle on a parachute with the thought of stepping out the door in the middle of the night, worrying about how long you're going to live. Okay, it just doesn't work that way. Okay, but what you have to do is you have to decide how you're going to live every day. Okay, and you have to choose how you're going to live every day. And so, am I going to have quality of life? Am I going to have the best life I can have today? Okay, then I can't do that if I'm smoking.
Wow.
Okay, that's something that I'm not controlling. I can't do that with an addiction. So once I stepped out the door, it's like going out on a night drop. You step into that black hole, and the stuff either works or it don't. Okay, you're either alive at the bottom or you're not.
Oh,
okay,
God.
It's just the question landing is how much is it going to hurt? Okay. That's where we're at right now, is how much is it going to hurt? It's hurting a lot, but I'm learning many new things about myself that and I'm kind of proud of the fact that I am learning new things about myself at 60 years old.
Heck yeah.
Okay? That's yeah.
Well,
That's
I know you're almost
It's
2
difficult.
weeks. Aren't you almost two?
Three.
Three.
Wow.
3 weeks yesterday. 3 weeks yesterday. Today is day 22.
John, first off,
So,
I'm so honored that I even played a small role in that. But I will tell you, I think at 3 weeks that you may be getting over the hump. But the warning, and I think I wrote this already, is it's going to take almost a full year for you to get through seasons, holidays, and all that.
Wow.
Little triggers that you don't even realize that make you want to have a cigarette are going to come back. And, and it's sort of an evolution of getting through that year. And then with me, there was another year of I couldn't stand to be around smoke. And now I hate to be around it, but it doesn't make me like either get sick nor want one. So you'll get there.
and actually, I haven't encountered that as a problem. One of my duties in the Alzheimer's unit at night is we have a couple guys that smoke, and I take them outside so they can smoke.
Oh, good night.
Okay. So
that's helpful.
That hasn't been a bother. Okay.
Wow.
Believe it or not, it hasn't been, and they offer me one. They'll sit there. They'll tell me every time we go out there. I tell them, yeah, I quit 2 weeks ago. I quit a week and a half ago. Yeah. Do you want a cigarette? No, thank you. Go ahead. Yeah. So that's that's the Alzheimer's guys. They can't.
Yeah. Bless them. Okay. We cut them a break.
Well, plus, I mean, they're old soldiers. Both of them that go out there and smoke. They're old infantry guys. They're Vietnam vets. They're my brothers.
Oh yeah.
Okay, they're brothers, and I mean they couldn't see somebody out there without one and not take a minute to offer him one.
How great.
Yeah. So they're my guys.
Well, that's amazing because I don't think anybody doubts that is a difficult journey, and just the fact like I told you the other day, if anybody can do it, you got it.
Yeah.
But I love that you're.
But the N equal 1 is.
The
N equals 1 is just my metabolism has just gone berserk.
Really? Good or bad or up or down?
Yeah. Bad. Well, right now it's bad. I mean, my blood sugar levels. Here's an example. This is today. Okay. At 6:38 this morning, it was 150. That's waking up. Okay. Then I had coffee and it went down. At 7:15, it was at 143. At 7:55, it was at 135. Then I had some oatmeal. Okay. Went at 8:42, it went up to 191. By 12:19, it was down to 98.
Wow.
So I had some liver sausage and cheese, no bread, just liver sausage and cheese, all protein, right? No carbs at 12:19, and at 12:47 it was back up to 119. At 1:15, it was back down to 99, and that's good. That seems like, yeah, okay, the cycle's going. But then at 4 o'clock this afternoon, it was up to 121 for no reason. Okay.
No food.
No reason other than my body's screaming at me to have a smoke. Okay, so I think that's part of. I think that's a response coming out of my liver based on my hippocampus. Okay, saying, look, this guy's not giving us what I want. All right, so it's time to make him uncomfortable. Okay, and I think that just may be one of the ways. I've been on PubMed looking for some of the metabolic effects of smoking cessation, and I haven't been able to find anything that tells me that that's a typical problem. But since I quit, within the first 3 days, my blood sugar's just been berserkos, and my weight, I've gained 20 pounds. Fortunately, I haven't gained any more this week, okay? But I gained the first 6 days that I had taken off of work, I gained 10 pounds, and I didn't change my diet much. I didn't even go grocery shopping, so I was just eating the food that was at the house. Gained 10 pounds.
Really?
Then I went back to work, and in the first 3 days back at work, I gained 10 more pounds in 3 days, and did not have a carb. Okay.
No, see,
Did
that
not
just
have a
goes to
carb.
show you. I like what
Okay.
Kim said about how it will take a while to normalize.
Yeah.
And I bet
Yeah.
that's the same
So-
thing with your system. Like you said, if a lot of
Yeah.
it's hormonal, how much weight you gain and don't, then it's going to be bizarro for a little while.
Yeah.
And you know, man, just hang with it, because you're doing bigger and better
Oh, yeah.
things than worrying about that 10 pounds or so. It looks like some people have to get going. I'm sorry I came so late in the day. I want to do a show about how I can't ever do a show. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I was so grateful. I was just so grateful that Jen would honor you guys. And there are more. I don't know if y'all had a chance to name some other jaunters like TJ and them. And Dev Sue and those guys, Chris and everybody, other Chris.
Chris is in the chat room. So.
Oh, awesome. She knows I can't see that, but she emailed me. So that is just fantastic. I mean, just can't thank any of you enough. And Jen, thank you because I know you'd be a great host for doing it. I just wanted to make sure, because I want to do more of these. I think they're game changers. Like, just because of the check-in challenge, I was making myself read more, and I start to learn more about the things y'all are talking about right now, how inspirational and helpful to me and to other people. So thanks for your candor and all that you share there. And I love seeing how, Chris Tinder, how you're getting, you know, longer distances faster, all the different things that you're doing with your running and stuff. It's pretty cool. And so rock on, everybody.
We could have a sleep challenge.
A speed challenge.
Sleep challenge.
Sleep.
Oh.
That'd be a good one. I don't get enough sleep.
Kim, the sleep queen.
Kim, February, I don't care if it's already a couple days into it. It can be from like February 15th to, you know, it doesn't have to be at the beginning of a month. Yeah. But think about that. I would be totally down for that.
Yeah.
Get it? That's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah, who wants to Fitbit? Yeah, we could do it in the Fitbit.
Yeah. Did Jen get to talk to y'all about the Tough Mudder?
Yep.
Yeah.
We did talk about it. We're trying to figure out who's all going to be there. Kim.
Chris did his time, but I'm wondering if he'll do Vegas too. What do you think, Chris?
I can't. I have a half marathon that same weekend. I think. If I don't, I'm in.
Awesome.
If I do, which it looks like it's going to be, they just haven't announced it yet.
Okay.
I won't be able to do it.
Well, we'll have to get pics and cheer you on virtually and all that good stuff. Rock on.
Yeah,
That's
and
fantastic.
you weren't here, Carol, but I've been given a position. So
Awesome. Awesome. I
She's
forgot
gun
my
runner
position.
5.
Gun runner
She's gun runner
5.
5. Civil affairs. Civil affairs and
Civil
publicity.
Man, John, it's going to be the most awesome, well-organized team of misfits you've ever seen.
That's it.
All right. I guess you should wrap us up, Jen, because I know folks got to get going.
Actually, you're here. You wrap it up.
I'm going to record an outro because there's people like that I want to thank. I'm going to read some feedback and stuff like that, and I'll put that on for the podcast and when the whole video goes out. But so thank you guys. Thanks to anybody tuning in over in the chat room. Thank you, Jaunters and other Jaunters. Big thanks to Jen. All of y'all are making such a huge difference, obviously. And so I'm super grateful it's making a difference in my life. I know I speak for many.
Well, and again, I want to thank everyone that participated. I mean, all you guys participated. Chris is out in the chat room. She participated. Salvador Dali from YouTube is out there. Tommy Cockerham did some. And I know there's other people that did it. I just can't remember them all. But, from, MyFitnessPal, TJ, and it was fun. It really was. It made me feel good that you guys were willing to, step up and do this crazy challenge with this crazy chick that we don't know. So,
Not true anymore.
well, I'm still crazy. But,
yeah, there's that. Sorry, you're right.
but it's been wonderful. Chris, John, Kim, and Carol, thank you so much for for hanging out with me and having our little chat here. So look forward to some more in the future.
Okay.
So, and to the chat room out there, thank you everybody for watching. I know this was done different than my chats normally are, but I really do appreciate you guys watching. And definitely make sure you tune in to the Fat2Fit HQ podcast. So with that, I guess we'll just say goodbye. So bye.
Bye.
See y'all on the chat boards. Loved it. I'm telling you, we have hit on something major with this community, and I give all the props to the people who actually check in almost every day, because anybody can drop in at any time and connect with folks like these guys that you just heard on this show. And how can you not benefit from that? I mean, if you're looking for inspiration, Chris Tender's whole plan for how he's getting better. He's just trying something different this half marathon that he's going to do this year. But the way that he goes about doing it, and you get to hear everything he's done every day, his interval trainings. I know for the longest time I didn't know what a PR was. And there are people in the community saying they're getting confused by acronyms. PR is your personal record. So he's talking about his PRs and, publishing all that for us to see. You may not be that technical, but it's inspiring just to see everything that he's doing and the goals he's putting out for October for that half. And that's fantastic. And John, of course, Hammer Jammer is our certified primal expert. So we have a person, and if you're interested in primal eating and what benefits that can do, we've got somebody right in our community who loves to talk about it. And so I want to thank John for that. And I know you got the sense from listening to it that Kim is very level-headed and very much about the sleep and bringing down your cortisol levels and your stress levels and that kind of stuff. I mean, we're this hodgepodge of people who, nobody's doing anything exactly the same, but there's it's just very inspirational to see what's working for whom. I was on the podcast, on the MyFitnessPal community chat boards in Heron. Heron, the way that she responds to what people are doing, she's like an encyclopedia herself, and she will go back through. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Have you tried that? If you're interested, if you're asking for somebody who might have read up on everything about jicama, she's your gal. But I did want to overall just really big time thank Jennifer Young. I'll have the links in the show notes to her YouTube channel, because I think she is the epitome of, you don't have to be carb night. You don't have to be low carb. You don't have to be anything. You can just do your own way of what you feel is healthier than what you used to do and see how it works for you. And you might find that if you stick with it, you'll either learn things about yourself or you'll have results. She's having amazing results. And that's very inspirational. So I'm super grateful to Kim for, of course to Kim too, but to Jennifer for doing the show and getting it out there for us and for throwing the challenge out there. There were other jaunters, like we said. And yeah, come over to our community. I think you'll be surprised if you're interested in plugging in with people who could inspire you or that you could help inspire us, how beneficial that is for whatever your goals are. So again, thanks to everybody. I'm going to throw out that today's show notes are at fat2fithq.com/120. This is episode 120 of the Fat2Fit HQ podcast. If you want to see us in real life this year, and we're not that bad, you should come see us in real life. We'd love to meet you. We're doing a lot of things this year, and on our calendar we have a Gritty Goddess, which is a 5K mud run in Galveston, Texas on April 18th. It's primarily for women, but there are ways for men and kids to get to run it. All of these links are in the show notes. We have Paleo FX, the conference in Austin. We may only be going to meet up in Austin and go out on the showroom, the expo floor, and get a lot out of it. Or some of us might be attending the whole conference. So that is on April 24th. We know there's a huge meetup on April 24th in Austin, Texas, of a lot of us. And then we've got that Tough Mudder in Las Vegas in October. That's October 19th. And John Hammerjammer is our captain. We have a couple of other Tough Mudders that I won't be directly involved with, but Lisa Jarman is doing the one in Kentucky. It's the Rough and Tough Mudders group, and they're doing it on June 27th. You can email me at fat2fithq.com. It's success@fat2fithq.com, and I can get you links to get in touch with Lisa Jarman. Also, the Mud Runners in Smithville, Texas on May 2nd. That is kind of central Texas, kind of close to Austin, and we're going to be doing that run as well. And other ones are coming up on the horizon. We just don't have firm dates for where you can hook up with JT, people like Cynthia Crum up in the Northeast. And if you're doing one and you want folks to come out and join your team, send me the info and I will put it out there. Or if you're doing anything like that, any kind of meetup, we can help you advertise that, because there is definitely a benefit to, strengthen numbers. So looking forward to it. Thanks again, January Jaunters, Deb Sue, everybody who was jaunting out there, Chris, and everybody who couldn't join us. We'll see you guys over on the chat boards. Thanks to everybody listening. Thank you for any iTunes reviews you can leave for us, or in Stitcher. Thanks to everybody who shares the show. That really keeps us viable and lets us keep doing this. So, yeah, take care. Have a great few days, and we'll see you as soon as we can see you. Bye. Thanks for watching that video, but you should really come over and check out Fat2FitHQ.com. Getting healthy, staying healthy, does not need to be miserable. Sometimes you just need a friend to go along the journey with you. You'll find links to our Facebook page, our MyFitnessPal community, and a lot of ways that you can have company on this journey. Thanks again for watching. Go do something healthy. Bye.